Hello everyone, welcome to Arihant Padhaku Season 4. This is Divya Jain from Achievers Institute, Paschim Vihar. And today we will be talking about how can we finish off with the English course in such a short period of time. So finally I'll give all the answers to your queries that you have been facing throughout the year. आई नो आपने पूरा साल मैथ साइंस एसएसटी हिंदी पे बहुत टाइम स्पेंड करा है और इंग्लिश कहीं ना कहीं यू हैव ऑलवेज थॉट ऑफ लिंगरिंग ऑन कि चलो कल कर लेंगे परसों कर लेंगे बट नाउ the time has come when you actually have to start off with studying English. So here are a few tips which I'll give you with which you can do your entire studies, with which you can score 90 plus marks in your final board exams. So I have this chart of 21 days. So isme you have a total of 21 chapters and 11 poems, right? तो आप ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि आप हर रोज 2 chapters along with 1 poem जरूर पढ़े, even if it's summary. I'll suggest try and read from the literature book, but अगर literature से पढ़ना मुश्किल हो तब भी आप लोग summary prefer कर सकते हैं. और summary जब भी आप पढ़ेंगे तो next day it's very important to read those topics over and over again. By the end of 2 weeks you'll be shocked to notice that आपको पूरा course tips पर याद हो चुका है. After that, entire literature is of just 30 marks. We have to work on our section A and B as well, which constitutes of other 50 marks. अब how can we practice about those 50 marks? वो तो same आएंगे भी नहीं. But that if you practice the number of questions or comprehensions or speech or articles, the thing or the change that will come is you will become way more confident as to what you have to write. आपको एक मैटर पता लग जाएगा कि अगर मेरे पास सिमिलर क्वेश्चंस भी आ गए, फॉर एग्जांपल एनवायरनमेंट, पॉल्यूशन और टेक्नोलॉजी रिलेटेड, सो यू विल हैव अ कपल ऑफ लाइंस विद यू जो आप वहाँ पे कॉपी पेस्ट कर सकते हैं. सो अगेन जब भी आप अपना मैथ साइंस भी पढ़ रहे हैं, यू कैन टेक अ क्विक ब्रेक एंड गो थ्रू अ शॉर्ट पैसेज विच विल गिव यू अ जिस्ट ऑफ व्हाट यू कैन write, right? So this was a brief on how you can prepare. So again the next question is that where should we exactly start from? So the day is today, tomorrow never comes. आप आज ही 1-2 चैप्टर करिए and make sure that you repeat those chapters tomorrow very positively, and then when the third day comes आप day number 1 or 2 का रिवाइज करिए and trust me within 2 weeks you will get to know कि आपको पूरे 32 topics they are all on your tips. But again these 32 chapters or the entire literature is not just your English exam. If you go through the literature on your tips तभी भी आप अच्छे से सिर्फ 30 marks का ही attempt कर सकते हो. There is still a paper of 50 marks which is remaining. So for that you have to go through as many passages, as many comprehensions as you can, because the more we read, the more we get to know and learn about the subject. Try and pick up the lines which you feel are impressive or which you feel are comfortable or suitable for you to learn, right? Pick up those lines and you can again cut, copy, paste if you find it relevant in the questions. Now the next question which usually students ask from me is how to write answers in paper so that it becomes easy for the checker or it becomes easy for us to score an English exam. So again the answer would be 5 major points. I call it a 5-star trick, right? So the first trick is answer to what the question is asking, because in general students are very excited कि हमने इतने सारे chapters पढ़ लिए, इतने सारे topics पढ़ लिए, question तो 2 mark का आ रहा है, but you have to answer in just 30 or 40 words. You don't have to write summarized chapters over there. It has to be of 2 to 3 lines. That will have 2 benefits for you. One would be that your time would be saved and the checker would also be able to read those points and give you marks easily. The second point that you have to remember is give proper spacing, right? If 1/4 part of the page is left, then try not use that page and start the next question from the next page. And also mention the section numbers and the question numbers in the center, right? This will give a good look, a good presentation to your answer sheets, and the paper checker would want to have a look at it and it will be easy for them to check it. So the third point that we have to remember while answering the questions is that try and write in paragraphs, because if you write in paragraphs you will also get a breathing space and the teacher will also get a breathing space to do their own work if they are doing some sort of work side by side. So also paragraphs improves the presentation of the answers. For example, if you're writing a story, then don't get engrossed in what you're writing. Try and write in gaps or paragraphs Again, the question would be of 10 marks, story writing or article writing, that is also of 10 marks. So try and write 2 or 2.5 pages, but remember to give proper spacing and write in paragraphs. So the next point I would want to let you know about is don't overwrite. If the question is of one single mark, then 2 lines are more than enough. If the question is of 3 mark, then you are supposed to write 3 or 4 lines. But if the question is of 8 marks or 10 marks, you have to write 2 pages or 2.5 pages. So give your wordings or give your writing some worth. Don't waste your words unnecessarily in 1 mark questions or 3 mark questions. Give length to the answers when it's required, right? And the last point that is very important while writing answers is sentence formation. You have to take care of the spelling mistakes and the grammar that you're using in your answers, because that is something you have done for past 9 years, and now that skill of yours is put to test. So be very sure of what you are writing, and for that, if in case you are not able to write good English, then try and read some storybooks or basic paragraphs with which you will get to know how the language is exactly used. Now, another thing that most of my students ask is that what is the level of English that we should be using. Now, I'll suggest you people to use a very basic or raw English, which doesn't mean that you're supposed to use British English or very hi-fi English. You can use basic words or lines which the examiner is able to understand, because their motive is not to see how broad your vocabulary is. They want to read that how you're able to express yourself of what you have read of the literature or the writing section or the comprehensions. Okay, so the second last question, which is very often asked by all my students, is that what are we supposed to prepare on a day prior of our exams? So on that note, I would want to tell you people ki you have to remember all the name of the poets and poetic devices. Even if you go through those names, try and make a story with which you can link the name of the poets and their poems. And wherever you find a question which is related to a poem, you have to write the name of the poets. It gives a good impression as to you have studied the subject pretty well. And after that, you have to go through the gist of all the literature chapters. And again, there is an ocean of passages and comprehensions that you have to go through, but take it easy. You can do it very easily by going through all the notes that you have made. And after that, the last question for today is time management, that most of us are not able to complete our papers in those 3 hours. So now I would consider those 3 hours as 180 minutes. And also I'll include those 15 minutes which are given as reading time. So the biggest flaw or the biggest fault attempted by all the students is that they just scroll the paper for the first 15 minutes just because they think that they are not supposed to write in there. So I'll suggest you people don't read the entire paper. At that point of time, what you can do is start reading the first question. So again, the most frequently asked question by most of my students is कि मैम हमें पिछले past paper solve करने चाहिए या नहीं करने चाहिए. So on that I would want to comment कि पिछले सालों के papers आपके लिए उतने relevant नहीं है. There are 2 reasons for that. First, your course has changed altogether, and the second point is that the pattern of paper framing has also changed. But still, if you want to take an overview, अगर आप ऊपर से unseen passage या फिर section B देखना चाहते हैं, तो you can absolutely go for that. Now, talking of the sample papers, again, students have doubts कि मैम कौन सी book हम prefer करें या फिर कौन से book से हम पढ़ें ताकि हमें एक full out and out suggestions मिल जाए या फिर reasons मिल जाए, where should we study from, guidance मिल जाए. So I have seen a lot of books in the market, but the one book I feel is the most sorted one is I Succeed of Arihant. So you can surely buy that book and it will help you out, as it has 10 solved paper. So usme you can go through the answers and you can check how answers are formed or paper is attempted, the length that they have given to the answers in the presentation as well. And after that, it also gives you the 5 unsolved papers which you can attempt it by yourself, and also we'll try and inculcate some sort of facility for you wherein you can send us those answer sheets and we'll take a review of it and then we'll check it and let you know what your errors are like. So finally, when those 180 minutes start, that will decide the entire year of yours of what you've studied so far you have to attempt the first section A in just half an hour or maximum 40 minutes. Now, I'm not saying that there is a restriction for you to complete those sections in 40 minutes, but you can leave some space. Otherwise, the other sections or the other parts of the paper will get suffered. So after you finish off with section A, you have to attempt section B in maximum 1 hour, in which you will have to attempt story writing, articles, notice, and letters. So if you have read enough number of passages or stories or articles, then it won't take much time, and you have to maintain good pace with good handwriting, which is easily comprehensible. And last comes the literature section. So when you try and attempt the literature section, always do the underlining, write in paragraphs, and complete the entire section in 1 hour maximum. So with this, you will get 15 to 20 minutes to revise your own paper. So when you revise your own paper, you will also get to know a few mistakes that you yourself have attempted very prominently. So try and change those mistakes, do the underlining, make proper spacing, and that would give a good presentation to your answers. So thank you and all the best. If you think you have any other doubt or you would want to ask me anything else, then you can write it in the comments below and I'll surely revert back. Thank you.